My husband, 29M, and I, 24F, have been married now for 4 years. I was 19 when we got married and my husband was 25. We got married after a few months of knowing each other. Which is not the issue of our relationship. Our first 2 years of marriage were great. We were both extremely happy and genuinely in love. Things started going downhill after I had our daughter. I had bad postpartum depression and was pretty much mentally checked out or drained. During this time I stopped wanting to have sex with my husband. Fast forward almost 3 years later, current time, my husband just got back from deployment. Before he left for his 9-month deployment, he was gone 2 times, one for a month and the other for 2 months. So essentially he has been gone for a year. Before he left, he seemed checked out. He would stay late at work and when he was home would constantly be on the phone with his work buddies or playing video games. During this time, we really lost our connection. When he deployed, I finally started going out and making friends for the first time in my adult life. I started going to bars and getting drinks with friends on weekends. It's nice to feel like a normal 24 years old. Since my whole adult life I have only ever felt like a wife/mom. From 19 to 22, I feel like I lost myself, and once he left I finally had time to focus on me and figure out who I am. He came home about a month ago, and I have never been so unhappy in our marriage. The first night he was home he suggested we go out with his friends to the bar. While we were out he got upset with me because at one point I couldn't find him, so instead of searching high and low/standing alone, I decided to make friends with a few girls I had met in the bathroom earlier that night. When I finally found him, he wouldn't even look at me or acknowledge me. I got upset and walked outside because I wasn't trying to cry at a bar. He followed me outside and started saying, "I didn't know where you were, seems like you didn't even care, you couldn't find me, you are my responsibility, so I need to know where you are." I got triggered at his responsibility comment and told him that I'm not his fuck child, I'm his wife who is an adult and responsible for myself. The next few days after that he would make passive-aggressive comments about how I'm not his responsibility. Now every time I want to go to the bathroom with friends, he starts acting like a wounded puppy. For example, this past Friday one of my girlfriends invited me out for a girls' night. I double-checked with him to make sure that 1, he had nothing planned for us, and 2, he didn't care if I went. He said to go and have fun. Hours prior to my girls' night, he was acting passive-aggressive. Asking me questions like, "Why do you even like the bar? The bar is for single people," or "I can see your priorities are the bar and your friends," implying our family isn't a priority. 2 minutes after my friend picked me up, I get a call from him, pissed he can't see my location. I turned it off the day before because I noticed during the week while I was at work he was constantly checking it, and when I would go to lunch, he would call to see where I was/who I was with. I started to feel like he was testing me. I told him that I'm not his child and he shouldn't be monitoring my location, especially 2 minutes after I left the house. He claims he was checking for safety reasons. But really? I hadn't even made it out of our neighborhood. I feel like if I say I am going somewhere he should trust my word and not have to ensure I am going pinpoint where I say I am going. I got home late, 3 a.m., because that's how late my friends aka my ride wanted to stay, and I was the last person she dropped off since I live the closest to her. When I got in bed he was next to me, and when I woke up he was on the couch. And from the moment I woke up I felt like I was being punished. He barely looked or talked to me. Then we went out to lunch and he started to pick a fight about my priorities and how bars are single people activities, and was talking aggressively and raising his voice to the point I had to tell him he won't speak to me like that. During this argument he brought up divorce multiple times. I told him no one is holding him hostage and he doesn't have to stay. He claimed he is not leaving his home, which is crazy because it should be our home. When we got home from lunch, he apologized, basically saying he loves me and wants to be with me for the rest of my life. He does this shit every time. Especially when he feels like I am done with him. And now he's acting like nothing happened and everything is fine. He's acting like I'm being an asshole for not accepting his apology or going along with his everything's fine act. We have had a marriage counseling session scheduled for weeks now. I'm at the point I don't even want to go. He's going to make it seem like our marriage is failing because I'm a party girl who doesn't prioritize our family. I need opinions. Thanks for whoever read this whole shit show.